Welcome back to the channel. My name is Wong, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new Toyota GR Yaris. This is a car that's taken the world by storm, and it's been an absolute hit. As a result, there's been so many reviews that have completely flooded the internet. And so we're not going to be doing your typical review. We're going to be showcasing to you just how it feels from behind the wheel. So we're going to go for a drive as though you were in the driver's seat of the all-new GR Yaris. This is what this channel is all about. It's about the passion of cars, and we're not going to go into the specifics of the technical details that this car has to offer. I'm sure if you're a fan of the GR Yaris, you'll know everything about this car. And so we're going to talk about the sheer pleasure of driving this homologation special. If you guys want to see some more epic car reviews and some more automotive related content just like this, consider subscribing to the channel, and let's go for a drive. This car belongs to my good friend Alan, and he's owned this car since the start of the year, and it's in this white paintwork. I think it looks super buff and muscular, and that wide arch at the back, honestly, it just looks so darn aggressive. Let's hop in. As you guys know, it's got the 3-cylinder 1.6 liter petrol engine that makes 200 kilowatts of power and 370 Newton meters of torque. So as soon as you jump in, you've got your pretty much standard Toyota GR Yaris interior that is mirrored across the Yaris lineup. Got a nice little GR push start button here. It's quite a spacious cabin. Can't really complain about it, to be honest. Handbrake, of course, rally car. So immediately there's just so many creature comforts and tech from behind the wheel. They've really improved that in this generation. All right, we're in first gear. So we'll just set off. So we've currently got the car in normal mode. You've got the option to switch between sport or track. In normal mode, it's 70% up the front and 30% in the rear for the drivetrain. Sport flips it back around, and then you've got 30 in the front and 70 in the rear. We've just engaged sport mode. There's a lot of lane track keeping assist, so we're going to turn that all off so it just doesn't start beeping throughout the entire review. The steering wheel feels really darty and responsive. There's a fair bit of feedback, which I quite like. Yeah, this feels good. We've come across my favorite set of roads out here in Melbourne, the same stretch that I did on my Integra DC5 Type R. It's a little bit hard to see. There's a whole lot of glare going on. You know, the windshield isn't actually big, and you can see it. There's actually an envelope size for this visibility right here. It's quite claustrophobic, I would say. And even the back window, if you can see it in the rearview mirror, it's very tiny. You know, the blind spots as well are quite hard to pick out, but thankfully you've got the blind spot assist on your side mirrors. If you guys are following my Instagram and staying up to date on the latest posts, you'll know that I actually took the GR Yaris for a spin when it was first released at the start of the year, and it was so much fun to drive. However, I only had 30 minutes from behind the wheel. And now, today, we're going to be experiencing what it's like just to drive it on a mountain road and just feel this car from beyond the reins of the dealership, because that was pretty underwhelming. I've just switched the car over into track mode, and that makes it 50-50 at the front and the rear, and it just unlocks that power curve just a little bit further, which is nice. It's a little bit bumpy out here, but the car still feels very compliant over these roads. You know, it has a sense of composure, and with that all-wheel drive, it consistently gets traction, which is really quite trick. It's a car that builds so much power, and yes, there's a sense of confidence as you're driving it, but still, you expect it to be at its limits, but it gives you more and more. It's really quite surprising the way this car drives. I really like that. There's a lot of noise from inside this cabin. You can hear the induction sound and you can get a sense of that exhaust. It's quite a tasteful note. It's quite deep. You could call it kind of like a vacuum cleaner. And when you step on it, you just unleash that power from this car, and for such a small vehicle, it really surprises you in a way that just takes your breath away. Currently found a little Jeep over here, so we're gonna have to take it a little bit slow out here. But in a car that doesn't have that much power, it really allows you to enjoy it. The 6-speed manual is very fluid and very notchy, so as you're driving it, it's a rewarding sensation when you're shifting between gears. Yeah, it feels very responsive. The torque kind of hits you at about 3,000 and it keeps pulling towards redline, which is a really nice aspect. Low down, there's no power at all. You kind of have to ring itself out. Seems to be leaving, so we get a little bit more room for some fun. So 4,000, you step on it, you get power straight away. These corners are literally devoured. Yeah, it's mighty quick, this car. And it's so nimble as well. Just really hooks on every single corner. There are a whole lot of G-forces. Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun, this thing. I just like how the gear ratios are quite short. And there's a whole lot of effort as you're driving this car. You know, the clutch is really easy to operate. The gear shift is so well positioned as well, and it's just a natural feeling. You know, it's right next to the steering wheel. Just have a look at that. There's a lot of sensations as you're driving it. I think the overall package of the noise, the induction, and just the amount of power is just a really nice amount for this car. And I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a head-up display which shows you the full readout of this cluster right in front of you. It's a lot of fun driving, and when you find a stretch of twisties, the car really comes into its own. And you get to see all of that all-wheel drive technology that they've poured into this GR Yaris. It's really astounding the way they've put it together in a way that's so small but so powerful. I really like that about this car. You know, nobody talks about the feeling that it evokes, and I know people drive it on the track, but honestly, 90% of people that own this car won't be driving on the track. They'll be taking out on commutes from A to B as a daily driver, and here and there on the spirited run. And that's what this car is all about. It's about having the ability to have every single drive and be an enjoyable one. It's really comfortable, which is surprising. Yes, it's a little bit on the stiff side, but still, there's a sense of balance in this car, and the chassis communicates to you throughout all of the corners. I had a sense of what this car is doing, and I could feel the limits of this car. And honestly, I think the stock set of tires that are fitted to the GR Yaris, the Dunlops, they're a little bit lackluster, and they don't really give you the ability to push it to the ultimate extreme. I think it's only giving this car 6/10 of what it's truly capable of. It just wants to go, and it wants to dive into every single corner, but still, I find it wanting more and more. I think a really nice aspect about the GR Yaris is that it's got a 6-speed manual transmission, and when you're cruising, you can just chuck it in and you get really good fuel mileage. The car's got a 3-cylinder 1.6, and because of that, it's very economical. Even in traffic situations and you want to just keep it relaxed as you're cruising, you can flip it over into normal mode. and then you can turn on IMT. So IMT allows it to automatically blip the throttle to match the revs as you're downshifting, which is super easy, especially when you're commuting around town. You've got cruise control, you know, you've got everything in this car, and it makes you feel like you're in a little go-kart in a sense. When it comes down to it, this is a really good daily driver. It's small, you can fit it into almost every single parking lot that you come across. And it's just a fun thing when you find like a stretch of road like this, when all the traffic's piled up on the other side, drop a few gears and it's just a fun experience. I'm gonna put it over into sport mode. Yeah, it's just a lovely car. You know, there's a lot of hype around this vehicle, and I can completely understand why. It's completely out of Toyota's element to create something that's just so outlandish. Yes, maybe in the 90s, this is what they all wanted to develop. However, 20 years on, it's been a long time coming, and it's a welcome addition to the JDM family, and this car's been an absolute treat to drive. Just gonna put up the windows. You know, there's not much wind buffeting, and when you compare it against the GR Supra, wow, that car had so much noise coming from the outside. Yeah, it's a lovely car. I can't really fault it in any way, especially for the money. You know, when you think of competitors in its class, you think i30N, Golf GTI. Not much really can fight it neck and neck because it just blows it out of the water, especially if you're a driving enthusiast. This car just caters so much for that. You know, there's also the Civic Type R, which is so clinical. Though I think the Civic Type R is a little bit more focused than fun. And that's a good thing about the car, but if you're looking for just downright enjoyable drives, the GR Yaris is the place to be. I'm really envious of the first 1,000 owners that got their hands on this car for the 40K run out. It was an absolute steal. And honestly, if you guys are looking to part ways with your GR Yaris, please let me know. I would love to get one. Within a few months, the GR Toyota Corolla, it's going to be fully unveiled, and that's going to be an exciting car because it's going to be a little bit bigger and just more livable for the average commuter. I think that's going to be really exciting. It's going to have more power, still going to have the same engine according to sources. I think it's going to be a sick thing alongside the Yaris. You know, these seats are actually also very comfortable. You've got the Alcantara in the center compartment, and there's quite a bit of bolstering that keeps you well into the driving position, and I can't really fault the driving position. It is a little bit high up, and there are quite a few buttons on the steering wheel, though, you know, it works. I'm sure in the aftermarket department, you'll be able to get some seat lowering rails, switch out to brides, and I've heard from even the owner, Alan, that you can actually get risers to make this a little bit higher, so there's just a little bit more visibility. You know, this car is bone stock factory, and for a car that has so much potential from right out of the gates, it really just shows you how capable of a car Toyota has made the GR Yaris out to be. It's really exciting. Yeah, just driving it. You know, you don't have to be going quick to enjoy it, and it's just raw fun. Little GR homologation badge, which tells you it was made for the FIA, for the World Rally Championship. I'll just get out, do a quick walk around, have a look at it once more. You know, it's just a cool looking thing. You know, the front grille is so aggressive and in your face. It's sweet. Not a lot of cars just stand out like the way the Yaris does. You've got the 4-piston brake calipers at the front, 2-piston at the back. You know, if you didn't know any better, it just looks like a standard Yaris. To the trained eye, it stands out. It's a if you know, you know kind of car, and I really like that about it. So please, in the comments below, tell me what you like about the Toyota GR Yaris. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. As well as that, consider subscribing to the channel and let me know if you guys like this type of review style. I really appreciate all the support you guys have shown throughout the life of this channel. It really means a whole lot to me. Please forgive me, there's a whole lot of birds chirping over there. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.